Welcome everyone. Good to see you again. This is your Yoruba instructor, Taiwo Enyene. Here we have a very important topic to look at this hour, this time, and that's about shopping in Yoruba. How do you shop in Yoruba? Ọjà níná ní Yoruba. Ọjà níná ní Yoruba. The goal of this lesson is to help you as a student to understand how to negotiate and buy things in the Yoruba market. The selling price, the cost price is not always the selling price. The price tag can be negotiated in a Yoruba market. Find yourself in Lagos, Nigeria, in Ibadan, in Nigeria, and a lot of markets. You have to negotiate the price and bring it down. Otherwise, you pay too much for an item that you could buy cheaper. And so it's important that you know how to shop and to negotiate the price in a Yoruba community. And that's the goal of this lesson, to help you know how to buy things, how to ask questions, to respond in the context of shopping in Yoruba language. Ọjà nìyí. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ni ó wà ní ọjà yìí. A ní nǹkan bíi òroǹbó wà níbí. There's orange, òroǹbó. You have orange there. A ní oríṣiríṣi nǹkan bíi níbí yìí náà ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ tá a bá wọnú àwòrán yìí ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ nìyí. That's bananas. Ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀, banana. And òroǹbó, orange. A tún pè ní ọsàn, orange. A tún ní nǹkan bíi tòmátì, which is tomatoes. Àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Àgbọn, coconut. Àti oríṣiríṣi àwọn nǹkan ni o lè rà ní ọjà. Àwọn nǹkan tí mo dárúkọ yìí jẹ́ èso. The things I mentioned are just fruits, but you could buy a lot more in the market. Again, ọjà nìyí. This is how a typical market looks like in a Yoruba community, in Yoruba city like Ibadan, or even in Lagos. There are some markets where you see goods are just displayed openly. People come and go. You walk to a seller, and then you negotiate the price. You buy whatever you want, and you leave the market. So it's very important that we go over. If you find yourself in a place like this, what do you do? How do you get the things you need in the market? So pay attention to this lesson. This will really help you to buy things successfully. Ọjà ní Yorùbá. Ọjà níná. Ọjà níná. That's pricing the market, negotiating prices, shopping generally. Ọjà níná. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ọjà níná. It's important for you to know that when you get to a Yoruba market, the first thing you want to do is to greet the seller. You don't just come there and say, how much is this? You want to greet the seller and then ask, how are the sales? Are you making profits? Are you making money? Are things going well? Are things well with you? You want to create that kind of rapport and care and concern for the business of the seller before you start pricing. That gives you a leverage, and that presents you as someone who is polite and responsible in the Yoruba community. So it's very important that when you find yourself in the Yoruba community, that you greet first to show that you're cautious, you're polite, to show courtesy, and then you start buying whatever you want to buy. So the first thing we're going to learn is to greet. So, a ní olùtajà àti olùrajà. Olùrajà. Olùrajà is the buyer. Olùrajà. A tún ní olùtajà is the seller. So, olùraọjà. Ra is buy. Ta is sell. Okay? Ra is buy. Ta is sell. So, olùrajà Raja is the buyer with the verb ra. While olu, taja, is the seller. Okay? So if you find yourself in the market, you are the olu raja. The person who has come to sell things is the olu taja. So in the dialogue right there on the screen, what you see is the olu taja is you in that context. Okay? The olu raja is the person you're buying things from. So the first thing you want to do, like I said, when you get to the Yoruba market, is to greet the person who you're buying things from. Show that kind of show that kind of respect and courtesy to them. And they see you, that presents you as someone who is responsible. And from there, you can talk about the price. You can bring it down to what's comfortable for you. And at times, the seller might compromise, can decide to bring it down. And then eventually, you guys reach an agreement. And eventually, the business happens. Nítorí náà, so a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú olùrajà. Olùrajà àti olùtajà. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. In another video, which is important for you to watch, is how do you greet based on different times of the day. So it's important for you to go over the video to help you understand what does ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ mean. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ is greeting for good evening. That's a greeting that is specific to the evening. And so it's important for you to, when you go over that video, there's another video that I made, and it's about greetings based on different parts of the different times of the day. So it's important to go over these greetings so that when you get to the market, if it's in the afternoon, you want to use the right greeting. If it's in the morning, you want to use the right greeting. If it's in the night, because people do business in the night, and you want to buy something in the night, around 9 p.m., you want to make sure you greet it very well. You want to use the right form so that you get the right response. And so, olùrajà, you as the olùrajà, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. Olùtajà, ó kúrọ̀lẹ́. Ṣàlàáfíà ni. Okay? So, olùrajà, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. Ó ṣàlàáfíà ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Èló ni ìwé yìí? Ìwé nìyí. Ìwé. Kí nìyí? We had a lesson on what is this. And so this also comes up here. All the lessons, all the topics we've gone over in the series of videos that I'm making will be helpful for you for this lesson. So it's important to go over them again and so prepare for this lesson. Kí nìyí? Ìwé nìyí. So kí nìyí? What is this? Ìwé nìyí is a book. Okay. So I want to buy a book. Ìwé nìyí. Ìwé kan nìyí. Ìwé nìyí. Ìwé kan. Ìwé méjì. It's two books. Ìwé kan. Ìwé kejì. Ìwé méjì nìyí. So you've got two books here. Okay? So you enter the market and you want to buy books from a bookseller at the bookstore. So what do you say after greeting? The first thing you say is, èló. Olùrajà, èló ni ìwé yìí? Èló ni ìwé yìí? Èló ni ìwé yìí? And the response is, igba náírà ni. Igba is 200 in numbers. 200. Igba náírà ni. Naira is the currency, just like the dollar is to the US, and the pounds is to UK. Naira is to Nigeria. So, èló ni ìwé yìí? You ask. Èló ni ìwé yìí? Èló ni ìwé yìí? Igba náírà ni. Igba náírà ni. That might be too much for you. When you check your pocket and you say, oh, that's too expensive. 200 naira is a lot of money. Then you want to negotiate the price. Then you, olùrajà, says, ṣé kò gba, politely, ṣé kò gba, okay? Ṣé kò gba ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà ni? So what you want to do is to cut the price to half. You don't want to get too low because people are in the market to make money. So you don't want to bring it to you don't want to bring it to 50 naira. From 200 to 50 is the long shot. That's it's bringing it too low. So you want to bring it to a half price, to almost like you common ground that you guys can negotiate from. So from 200 you want to bring it to 100 naira. So and that is ọgọ́rùn-ún. So from igba you bring it to ọgọ́rùn-ún naira. The person tells you, èló ni ìwé yìí? And then the seller tells you, igba náírà ni, which is 200. Your response is, ṣé kò gba ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà? You say 100. Okay? The seller can say, kò gba means no, I can't sell it for that price. Kò gba. So because you are there to buy, you're a buyer should buy something. So you really want to buy it because you like the book. It's a very nice book. Okay. Ìwé tó dára. Ìwé dídára, good book. Ìwé dídára nìyí. And then you move further. So what do? You continue with the bargaining. The next thing is you want to say is, èló ni jálẹ̀? The first thing we said is, èló ni ìwé yìí? And now what you're saying now is, èló ni jálẹ̀? What is the last price? Èló ni jálẹ̀? You don't want to bring it down. If you go with numbers, numbers is very important. So you have to go over numbers again. It's very important. Go with numbers. You can't play around with numbers. But if you're not so very good with numbers, you could just say, ask what's the last price that the person is willing to bring it down to for you. Èló ni jálẹ̀? Olùtajà says, you say, èló ni jálẹ̀? Olùtajà says, ọgọ́fà náírà ni. Ọgọ́fà. Kí ni ìtumọ̀ ọgọ́fà? What's ọgọ́fà? Ọgọ́fà is 160. That's ọgọ́fà. Ọgọ́fà. Ọgọ́fà náírà ni jálẹ̀. Ọgọ́fà náírà ni jálẹ̀. And then olùrajà says, ẹ mú wá, which is bring it. Ẹ mú wá. Ẹ mú wá. That's fine for me. Ẹ mú wá. And then gbà. You're given the book. Gbà. So that's what happens there. Let me go over this section again very briefly. So when you get to a market, what do? You see something that you want to buy. Here, I want to buy a book, and I'm in the Yoruba community. I'm in the Yoruba market specifically, and I want to get a book. What do? The first thing you want to do is to greet. You don't just go ahead and say, hey, Loni. You can do that. It's not a crime. But you might be seen in some areas as not being respectful. But if you ask about how things are going, if you greet, then it presents you as being polite, as being respectful, which is good. You always want to have a very good representation. So the first thing in the market is, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o. O, ṣàlàáfíà ni? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, bẹ́ẹ̀ni, bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Are you fine? Yes, I'm fine. Okay. Then the next thing is, èló ni ìwé yìí? Ìwé. Èló ni ìwé yìí? Èló ni ìwé yìí? Igba náírà ni. Igba náírà ni. Igba náírà ni. That's true. It's too much for you. And then you ask, ṣé kò gba ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà? Kò gba. The seller is telling you, the olùtajà, kò gba. You proceed further. And then you ask, èló ni jálẹ̀? Èló ni jálẹ̀? What's the last price? Èló ni jálẹ̀? And the olùtajà, the person who is selling, says, ọgọ́fà náírà ni jálẹ̀, which is 120. Ọgọ́fà náírà ni jálẹ̀. ọgọ́fà náírà ní jálẹ̀. That works well with your schedule, and you think, well, I think I can afford this. This is okay. Ẹ mú wá. And then the seller gives you gbà. Say, ẹ mú wá, gbà. And then you take it. In that place, the transaction has taken place. And then, ẹ ṣé, kò tọ́pẹ́. Ẹ ṣé, thank you very much, kò tọ́pẹ́. So conversation in the market should be very polite. There should be courtesy and very respectful. That's what happens. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ pàtàkì in this conversation, important words to pay attention to, things like olùrajà, which is the buyer, olùtajà, which is the seller. Then things like èló ni, how much is this? How much is this? How much was the price? Èló ni. Then ṣé kò gbà. Can't you accept? Can't you sell it for this price? Are you able to sell it for this price? It's reaching it. You're trying to bargain. You see, ṣé kò gbà, you're trying to bargain at that point. Can you bring it up for this price? Can't it cost this? Can't you sell it for this? Are you able to bring it down? Which is very important. And then the person will tell you if bẹ́ẹ̀ni ó gbà or rárá kò gbà. Then you negotiate further. Èló ni jálẹ̀. It's very important when conversation is getting longer and you ask for this price, the person say no, ṣé kò gbà. You said rárá. Ṣé kò gbà ọgọ́rùn-ún right now? Rárá. Ṣé kò gbà ọgọ́fà? Rárá. You keep asking and the seller is saying no. What you really want to do is èló ni jálẹ̀, so that you don't waste the person's time and your time is also precious. What's the last price? How much are you willing to take for this price, for this item? Èló ni ìwé? Èló ni jálẹ̀? What's the last price? And then hopefully if it works, if it's something you can afford, ẹ mú wá. Ẹ ṣé, then kò tọ́pẹ́. Ẹ ṣé, kò tọ́pẹ́. Ó dàbọ̀. Okay, so that's the lesson, and I'm going to say ó dàbọ̀ at this time. I hope when you get to a Yoruba market, you're able to find things that you like, and you're able to buy those things that you like with an affordable rate for you. An activity, create a dialogue between a buyer and a seller in a Yoruba market. Ẹ ṣé.